Well, what's the problem with Pseudo Eros? What's the big deal? Well, the problem with Pseudo Eros is it's not erotic. It doesn't fill you up. Right, let me just give you an example out of the realm of sexing. Sexing, of course, using sex as a verb. Let's just talk about gossip for a second. Right? Another addiction. What's an addiction? An addiction is, let me give you a definition. Addiction is something you can't stop doing, right, that doesn't support your evolution, that doesn't support your wholeness. You can't stop doing it. So gossip's a great example, right? Most people gossip 30 times in a day. Casual, semi-negative, semi-slanderous speech, semi-gossipy speech about someone else. Now, often people will get together for coffee. The first thing they'll do is talk about a third person. Well, why? See, because when you create genuine intimacy with the person you're having coffee with, genuine intimacy is Eros. When you have genuine Eros, you're in the circle. That's why the circle is always an image for Eros. Genuine Eros, you're in the circle because you've created genuine intimate communion between the two of you. But when you don't know how to create genuine intimate communion, genuine Eros, so what you do is you place someone else outside the circle. You talk about a third person and place them outside of the circle to give yourself an illusion that you're on the inside of the circle. That's Pseudo Eros. Now, what happens is it doesn't fill you. It's not erotic, right? Speech is erotic. But an erotic conversation isn't something you can pay for. An erotic conversation is when you're on the inside, your words merge into each other, you're delighted, time stands still, you spend 2 hours talking and you barely knew that 5 minutes passed. That's erotic conversation. That's when you enter into the inside. That's Eros. Right? Pseudo Eros, again, you place someone else on the outside to give yourself an illusion, right, of being on the inside. Now, a sure way, right, to map the distinction between whether you're engaged in Eros or Pseudo Eros, and particularly in the realm of eating and in the realm of sexing, is to check into the aftertaste. Check into the aftertaste. What's the aftertaste? Great sex, right, which is genuinely erotic, and Pseudo Eros sex, right, when you're having the sex, it sometimes feels pretty similar unless you're really discerning. If you're really discerning in the sex itself, you can feel the whole difference. But for most people, if you haven't really awakened to those discernments, there's another shortcut route that we want to give you, which is aftertaste. Check the aftertaste. And it's like eating junk food, 3 Baby Ruth bars, my favorite candy bar, right? When I was a kid, there were just like 4 candy bars. Now it's so confusing, right? Just 4 Baby Ruth bars. Right? When I was eating them, oh my God, they were so good. But the aftertaste, my friends, sucked. It's terrible. You got sick. Sometimes if I got to 5 Baby Ruth bars when I was 10, you'd throw up. Same thing with sex, right? And what's the aftertaste? How do you feel the next morning? When the aftertaste is kind of gorgeous, when it's deep, when it's arousing, when it provokes your growth, you know that you were engaged in genuine Eros, right? In personality sexing of the highest and greatest kind. When it leaves a bad aftertaste, whoa, you got to check it. So let me give you one more image, and then turn back to Annie, because I think we need Annie to talk before this, right after this last image. I think we need to talk maybe a little bit more today also about pornography, because for sure, the second major cause of pornography, either it's because you've exiled vital sexing, right? So you've got no vitality, you're looking to pornography for vitality, but you also look for pornography, right, as a way of covering up the emptiness. That's how porn addiction, right, is created when you haven't gotten to kind of an evolved erotica, what Ann and I like to call porn 2.0, that we talked about briefly in our first session.